Hello, Clan fans. So, pardon my voice. I am actually having some allergies right now, and hopefully that will be gone soon. It's a fun day these days. All kinds of craziness, I know. I hope all of you guys are doing well with all that's going on. And it's funny, I was literally thinking about all that's going on in Outlander and how I wish Claire was here these days so she could help us figure out a cure or at least a treatment for COVID-19. Where is she when we need her? Hopefully there is a Claire out there. So, hi guys. Let's talk about episode 5, which was called Perpetual Adoration. And this episode, I genuinely loved this episode. They touched a lot of base in this one, and there was just a lot of events that happened. We even got to see flashbacks to the 60s, which I honestly was not expecting. So that was cool. Yeah, so let's start with Jamie's story. So while he is taking his militia to Hillsborough, he runs into Lieutenant Knox, and he is informed that Governor Tryon is trying to maybe pardon the regulators that he wants arrested. And this obviously is like great news, right? Until later when Jamie gets the news that everybody is pardoned except Murtagh. And it's like... It's because he still wants to make an example out of Murtagh, since he's like the ringleader. So Jamie is very obviously upset about that, but he can't show that to Lieutenant Knox. And then, even more troubling, Knox informs him that he's supposed to get a Ardsmuir prisoner roll, which obviously their names are on there, so that will clearly give him away. So, not good news either way. Later that night, he is playing a game of chess with Knox, and then right then he gets the letter, which is the prison roll. And like after Knox was complimenting Jamie, like, there's nobody I'd rather serve the war with. And then he looks, but then before he sees the name, Jamie informs him, like, by the way, you're gonna find my name on there. There's only one from Rock to Rock. And of course he sees that to be true. And then he also sees that Murtagh's last name is also Fraser, which he was using the name Fitzgibbons. So he thinks that Jamie is a traitor, and it does not go well. He goes crazy on Jamie. He like threatens to have him arrested, but then Jamie, thinking quickly, he knocks out. Try saying that 5 times. And he strangles him, which that surprised me. I was not expecting that. I thought Knox would be like that turnaround character that you wouldn't expect. So in order for him to make it look like it was an accident, Jamie places Knox's body on his bed, makes it look like he was sleeping, and then he messes with the fireplace and makes it look like Knox died from smoke inhalation, which honestly that was clever. I honestly didn't know how he was going to get away with that, but solution right there, which nobody try that, okay? And while he's escaping, he runs into our new favorite character. Adso. He's so cute. Just that little mew, and I knew who it was. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be gushing over this cat like every time he's on screen. And he was like a wonderful addition. He's so cute. Okay, back to the episode. So yeah, Jamie, Fergus, the militia head home because they were actually given orders to go back. So it all worked out. For now. As we know, things in Outlander work out for like a very temporary time sometimes. Usually. So yeah, he makes his way home to Claire. That's where he gives her Adso. Adso's... Again, I'm gonna gush. But he actually named the cat after a cat that his mother had. So in a way, maybe Adso is like a blessing. It's like his mother's watching over him, saying, "You did the right thing, son. You saved Murtaugh." Though I don't know if she would condone the murder part, but yeah. So yeah, that was Jamie's story in this episode. We also see that Claire has a bit of an arc where she finally discovers a sort of penicillin. I don't know if it's like an exact penicillin, but I guess it is. But clearly she's not going to be able to tell anybody like what it is until she's dead. So anyway, she uses that on Kezzy and Josiah, who need to have their tonsils removed. And the surgery actually goes well. She, of course, has to make sure that they're not allergic to it because she had a bad experience, and this is where we have the flashback to the 60s. She had a patient named Graham Menzies. He needed a gallbladder surgery, which apparently in the book it was a different situation, but this was to make a point that he was allergic to the penicillin, and this was the first time Claire had to deal with that. So that's why she was very worried about doing the surgery on Kezzy and Josiah. But obviously that went well compared to what happened to Graham Menzies. But this story arc wasn't just for that, it was also to show that he was the reason why she ended up going back to London, which led to Reverend Wakefield's funeral and led to everything that unfolded after that. So that was kind of a neat tie-in. And apparently that's not how it happened in the book, but you know, for this episode it worked. So yeah, I liked that they had the flashback, and of course we got to see Joe Abernathy again. I'm honestly sad he's not featured more, because he's a great character. I think he and Claire work so well off of each other. So I was kind of sad he was only in like a few episodes in season 3. But hopefully we'll get more flashbacks with him. I was surprised to see one in this season, so hey, you never know. But yeah, honestly the flashbacks were a nice treat to this episode. And Claire, of course, has her thing with time and how it works, and she also brings a lot of religious factors into it, which I'm not going to go into detail with that, but it served as a really interesting purpose for the episode. The season, in fact, because it is called the Fiery Cross. There are a lot of allusions to religion in this season, the book in general, too. So the fact that they're actually bringing that in is really good. So let's get to the final storyline, where we had Roger and Bree finally talking about Bonnet. And this was... I was worried about this because I figured that they would fight, and they did. But the fact that it didn't get as chaotic as it has in the past, again, it shows growth. So what happened is that Roger is taking care of Jemmy. He accidentally knocks over Bree's jewelry box, which has the... I thought it was a ruby, but apparently it's a diamond that Bonnet had given her. And he recognizes it because he had seen it when he was playing cards with Bonnet. Cheating, lying Bonnet. Yeah. Every flashback with him is a slap in the face, isn't it? But this obviously disturbs Roger because he does know that Bree went to go watch him get hanged, but he didn't know that she had gone to talk to him or that he had given her anything. So while he's confronting her about this, he also learns that she told him that Jemmy is his son, and this really upsets Roger because it shows that Bree really isn't sure. Like, there's not really like a 50-50 thing with her. It's more like a 75% Bonnet, 25% Roger situation. So that clearly upsets him, and that's when he decides to go sleep outside in the woods. In the morning, he runs into Claire, and she, like, they don't talk about what happened, but they eventually get on the subject about how marriage works, and she tells him how she and, I was going to say Roger, what the heck? How she and Frank had to put aside their differences to raise Brianna, and that she doesn't regret not telling Brianna who her father was till later because she had a good life that way. And eventually when she did tell her, she also doesn't regret. Even though the truth hurts, it's good that she knows. But just to keep it secret up until then, she has no regrets over that. So Roger realizes that even if he's not the father, there's a chance that he and Jemmy can be father and son no matter what. So he does go back to Bree. He actually apologizes, which honestly, I can't remember a time when Roger actually said out loud that he was sorry to Brianna. Am I wrong? I can't even think, but I know in season 4 he didn't. But it was so nice to actually hear him say it out loud, even if he never did. But so she's clearly still holding something back. He knows that, and he calmly asks her to tell him, in a way. So she tells him that Bonnet is still out there, and that Mrs. Bug had told her about the Irishman who talked to Jemmy. He doesn't fully believe that it could be Bonnet, but just that to take precautions at some point once they learn that Jemmy can travel, they will go back. So that concerns her. And eventually, Bree and Roger probably will go back in time, or go forward in time, however you want to say it. But at the moment, it's kind of a concern for Bree. Even though the diamond is a ticket to the future for Jemmy, she also doesn't want to use it. Because as we know back in episode 2, she clearly wants to stay with her family. So yeah, we'll have to see where it goes from there with them. But honestly, just that they worked it out in one episode, I loved that. That was wonderful. So I really am happy with Bree and Roger's relationship this episode, and I hope it continues to grow, and I'm sure it will. But yeah, I loved this episode. It was so good. And all that happened, it was like, I didn't see a lot of it coming. So just to have that, it was a great surprise. And that Claire figured out penicillin, I loved the eureka moment. She's teaching Marsley the word eureka, and just hearing Marsley say it, it was, I loved that. But yeah, I think that season 5 is going in a great direction. I'm interested to see where the next episode goes, because it looks like they're a little more focused on the ridge. There are some crop issues with bugs, and looks like Claire and Jamie might have a fight where she gives him not just Frank's ring, but her Jamie ring, the new one. And tensions are high. I read a little bit about that part, but I'm not gonna go into it right now. So we'll see where that fight goes. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 5. Let me know what you thought. I thought it was great, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to Bonnet, but I'm glad Bree and Roger worked that out this episode, that they were finally honest with each other, because that's honestly what marriage needs sometimes. Like, Claire mentions that you can't always tell the truth without it hurting, but this was actually a truth that hurt, but also helped them to heal. So that was good. And yeah, it's I know it's crazy out there right now. Hope you guys are doing okay. I hope my allergies will be gone by next week. And hopefully I can get the video out sooner than this time, but yeah, I'm just glad we have Outlander during this time, no Droughtlander during the COVID-19 scare. And hopefully it'll all be over soon. But hey, stay strong and hope that there is a Claire Fraser out there working on a treatment. Alright guys, I'll see you next week. Have a good day, good week. See you then. Bye.